We are back with the next part of Game of Turnabouts. We left off with Grace Barr pretty much admitting that she was an accomplice to Ronald Barr. In the murder of Marcus Stratter. Your Honor, it appears my wife intends to lie to this court in order to garner sympathy. Excuse me? You're one to talk about lying to the court. Easy for a line. Here, Barr, what are you talking about? I'm sure I don't need to remind you that. The defense has essentially proven your guilt in the case 3 years ago at this point. You're telling me we can't move on until I confess? Well, it looks like there's very little chance for me to get out of this now, so I admit it. I murdered Isla Stratter 3 years ago. If I'm going to go to prison, I might as well also tell you that I did it. To hide my involvement in the info leaks at Barlink. Murder took place exactly as you theorized, as I had it. Grace retrieved the murder weapon from me. But let me just say that this whole story about me coercing her is a load of rubbish. What? I'm sorry, but after everything you've just told us, that's what you're choosing to focus on? I agree. I agree, what? I'm sorry. Focusing on the, one part that won't sin, that is not going to let him get out of going to jail. What? Perhaps this is the end for me, but I'm not allowing my wife to get away with lying like that. Well, darling, why don't tell them the real reason that you decided to help me? What's happening, Mr. Wright? Well, one thing's for certain. These two really don't have the most stable married life. If Grace acted as an accomplice of her own free will, that would be significant, but this creep bringing it up after he's already confessed just seems petty. Is he trying to drag his own wife down with him? Let me tell you about what we discussed on that night 3 years ago. I told Grace about our plans for Stratter's daughter and keep my secret safe. Of course, Grace already knew about my involvement in this little incident. Now, while I might have been tempted to use force to gain Grace's cooperation, she, much to my surprise, outright agreed to help me kill the girl. I understand, my darling. I'll bring you a knife from the dining hall or kitchen, and pass it on to you in the main hall. That's what she told me. Before you go any further, why should any of us trust you? You've just confessed to being a murderer. Imbecile. It's because I've confessed that I can be trusted. I hardly have any reason to lie to you now, do I? Well, yeah, he has a point. Oh yes, but plenty of criminals lie, even though they've... yeah. Anyway, at first I took Grace's compliance as a sign of loyalty. Yeah, I'd say probably even after criminals have, like, at least some criminals, not all of them, that some criminals would lie even after they've confessed, because, yeah. First I took Grace's compliance as a sign of loyalty, but now I realize that she had her own reasons for going along with the plan. What were her reasons? Did you forget already? Sarah's daughter had dirt on everyone at Barlink. The same dirt that Stratter used to force us into playing his game. She knew about the embezzlement. She knew about the info leaks. And she knew something about Grace as well. Not only that, but the Stratter family had proof to back up their claims. Well, we've revealed everyone else's secrets. Don't you think that it's only fair that you tell us about Grace as well? Yes. That's what he's trying to get out of us. It's true that we haven't discussed what Stratter was holding over her head yet, but... this right here. Who cares? Prosecutor Gavin? We didn't come here to start airing out everyone's dirty laundry. Appropriate action will be taken concerning the murder 3 years ago, but we're only trying to determine the one thing here. Who killed Arcus Strater? But tell him, Fraulein. Me? Let's not forget what started this entire discussion. You were going to tell us about this. Tell us what this witness's motive for killing Arcus Strater was. Oh, you're right. Now that Ronald Barr has confessed to the murder 3 years ago, we know. He was trying to stop Arcus's game before his crime was brought to light. Ah. Well, witness, I think even you would agree that there are more pressing matters. Fine. You want me to talk? Well, I'm sticking to my story. I didn't kill Arcus, even after he's already confessed to one murder. There's no way he's telling the truth. After all, he used the same freaking method. Well, Mr. Bard, perhaps you could explain to the court in a bit more detail. With my defense, pay attention. It could have been Grace who murdered Arcus, but when you kill her, he's standing right there at the defense bench. That attorney was upstairs at the time of the murder. We all saw him. He also had a chance to take that knife from the dining room to kill Arcus with. I, on the other hand, was in the lounge the entire time. I have proven is that I could have gone upstairs, but there's no evidence that I did, is there? Stop playing and just admit that you killed him already, you lawyer. So, you maintain that Herr Wright was the true culprit in this case? Of course. Why would we even be here if he wasn't the guilty one? Alright. You do understand what the trial is for, right? Very well. We should be getting the discussion back on track. Miss Sykes, your cross-examination. Huh. Who killed Arcus? So, you save. The attorney was upstairs at the time of the murder. We all saw him. He also had a chance to take that knife, which is wrong. Oh wait, no, he was right. From the dining room. Yes. You've got just some nerve saying that after you already confessed to the murder 3 years ago. Just because I killed Strata's daughter doesn't mean I killed Strata as well. How can you say something like that so casually? You're talking about somebody's life here. I think we can all agree that Herr Barr is a bad person. I'm afraid we'll have to deal with his confession at a later date. What we want to know is who killed Arcus Strater 2 nights ago. So, Herr Barr, tell us why you suspect the defendant. The attorney was upstairs at the time of the murder. We all saw him. What do you mean by that? I have to explain everything. Strater died at some point between 9:20 p.m. and 9:50 p.m. Yourself and Iving were in the main hall that entire time. Grace and I were in the lounge, and Forza was in the library. At 9:45, we all left our respective rooms and met up in the main hall. Wright was the only one who wasn't in any of the downstairs rooms. and all the guests who saw him in the upstairs hallway after the body had been discovered. Aren't you forgetting something? That's the secret passage in the library that leads to the upstairs hallway. You already know that Ken used it to reach the study at the time of the murder. I mean, you could have easily killed Trevor and returned to the lounge without being seen, as long as you used the same passage. I didn't know anything about that kid using the secret passage. Need I remind you that I missed all the proceedings until I was called to stand? What I'm saying is that you also had access to this crime scene. How about you let me talk before you start hurling accusations at me? I also had a chance to take the knife from the dining room to kill Arcus with. Are you saying that you didn't have that same chance? Of course not! I was in the lounge all the night! I recall that diving wasn't... we're getting, right. That's how we determined that Ken wasn't the culprit. Wait a second. All you needed to do was use the same strategy that you did 3 years ago. Chris was in the dining hall before the murder occurred. She could have taken a knife at that point and brought it to you in the lounge. Oh? And how do you intend to prove that? Barrow's wife already confessed to being an accomplice in the murder 3 years ago. Don't you think she would have mentioned it if the same thing happened in this case? True. Suppose she would have. You might not be too far off the mark, Athena. We just need proof. Maybe we should worry about how Bauer could have retrieved the knife at a later point. And now let's focus on finding a contradiction in his testimony. Was in the lounge the entire time. All you've proven is that I could have gone upstairs, but there's no evidence that I did, is there? I was trying to keep the suspicion focused on me. It's obviously lying. Well, I agree that I'm not the killer, but what reason would he have to lie now that he's already confessed to his murder? Well, one murder would still give a lighter sentence than two, right? So he's the kind of guy who would happily lie just to get a lighter sentence. Punishment. I guess so. Anyway, one thing's for certain, and that's that right, Mr. Wright is definitely no killer. The sooner I can find a flaw in the testimony, the sooner that I can prove that to everyone else. Let's see. So I had a chance to take that knife from the dining room to kill Arcus with. And the hand was in the lounge the entire time. All you've proven is that I could have gone upstairs, but there's no evidence that I did, is there? He doesn't wear gloves, does he? I don't remember if he, Mr. Time of murder, yep, he was, but Actually, Ken didn't. Whatever. On the killer, he's standing right there at the defense bench. That attorney was upstairs at the time of the murder. You all saw him. He also had a chance to take that knife from the dining room to kill Arcus with. I, on the other hand, was in the lounge the entire time. I'm confused. Let's see here. Right there at the defense bench. That attorney was upstairs at the time of the murder. Correct. He also had a chance to take that knife to the dining room to kill Arcus with. I honestly don't know. No conclusive evidence that to prove that Mr. Wright is real because other people could have reached the room where the child was killed. Aren't you glossing over the some important points, Fräulein? Harry Wright was in the dining room before the murder, meaning he could have picked up the murder weapon. Not only that, but Harry Barr and his wife have alibis. They both testified that they were in the lounge at the time of death, supporting each other's claims. Access to the crime scene, access to the murder weapon, no alibi. Harry Wright is the only person in the matter that night who fulfills all three. It will make Mr. Wright the most likely suspect. Not good. I've got to overturn that reasoning fast. Okay. Access to the secret passage and opera at the murder. How do we know you didn't go upstairs at any point? Do you forget already? This is my alibi. We were in the lounge together when Starter was killed. Javier told us that Grace said the same thing during questioning. Means that the two can vouch for each other's innocence. How do we know that they're not lying to protect each other? Well, they didn't seem too interested in protecting each other just a moment ago. That's true. I think we'll need proof if we want to claim that Mr. Barr wasn't in the lounge at the time. I don't think I have any proof like that, do I? It's clear that there might well be. Confused. Just gonna try out every single option. Can I try this? Come on. Okay, the internet's starting to go bad, I think. Focused on finding a contradiction in its testimony. Oh, yeah. Seriously. Let's see here. I don't know. I'll be able to all to think about this, or I'll find it out between now and the next video. So I shall see you in next time with YouTube. Goodbye.